This is the President of the United States, and this is his motorcade, his plane, and his entourage. Each year, the President of the United States carries out many foreign trips to countries around the world. To ensure that he remains safe in every corner of the globe, the Secret Service executes carefully thought-out, elaborate plans that involve enormous amounts of resources and a world-class logistics network. If there's another person on this earth who enjoys a similar treatment, then perhaps it's King Salman of Saudi Arabia. As the king of one of the richest monarchies in the world, with an estimated combined wealth exceeding $1 trillion, King Salman travels big wherever he goes. Dozens of aircraft, hundreds of luxury vehicles, and thousands of assistants, family members, and servants accompany the king on each trip to make sure that it feels like he's home while he's traveling abroad. While the American Secret Service aims for maximum security of the president, the Saudi Arabian royal house strives for the luxury and the comfort of their king. 2017 was an action-packed year for the Saudi king and his princes. In March, the Saudi King Salman's private 747 jets touched down in Indonesia for the beginning of a lavish 9-day tour. It was the first time a Saudi king had visited the country for such diplomatic reasons in 46 years, and the event drew massive media attention. However, it wasn't the purpose of the trip that they were interested in. It was the shocking fashion Salman showed up in. Nothing compares to King Salman's private 747 owned by the Saudi royal family and kitted out with everything needed for long-haul trips of incredible grandeur. In addition to 2 Boeing 747s, the Saudi Arabian Royal Flight operates a Boeing 757-200, a 777-300, a 787-8, and an Airbus A340-200 for use by King Salman only. The Crown Prince, MBS, and other royal family members have their own planes at their disposal. The Boeing 747-400, as a commercial airliner, is one of the largest passenger aircraft capable of accommodating more than 600 passengers. Now imagine the same aircraft decorated as a private plane, featuring superfluous decorations, expensive leather seats, conference rooms, staterooms, and bathrooms with showers, and you're looking at nothing less than a palace in the sky. Even the richest and most influential leaders in the world choose to travel in much smaller aircraft for better mobility and lower cost. But for King Salman, the larger the plane, the more luggage it can accommodate. A mind-boggling 506 tons of cargo were arranged and transported for the flight, carried to Indonesia in 7 large transport aircraft, including a C-130 Hercules and more Boeing 747s. Following behind him was a horde of 1,500 people, and 36 flights over a period of 3 weeks were required to bring them to Indonesia. King Salman magnificently descended from his aircraft in 2 golden, freestanding escalators. King Salman went on to tour Indonesia in the lap of luxury, riding in 2 Mercedes-Benz S600s, and even requesting a custom toilet to be built for him inside a mosque. Such was the level of excess that the air freight company reportedly used 572 workers to transport the cargo, an astronomical, coordinated effort. It was not the first time the King of Saudi Arabia had taken comfort and extravagance to the next level. During his tour in Japan, he ordered a gargantuan fleet of 500 limousines. Gathering such an enormous number of luxury cars was no small feat. It required the automobiles to be carried in from all over the country. To take care of accommodation, he went on a booking spree, taking more than 1,200 rooms in Tokyo's best hotels. And in France, he was driven away in a grand motorcade. His road processions have been grander and more eye-catching than most presidents. Speaking of presidents, when King Salman flew to Moscow to meet with Russian President Putin, becoming the first Saudi monarch to do so, he brought nearly 2,000 pounds of food and even his own furniture and carpets. Accompanying him on this fantastic affair were an estimated 25 Saudi princes, hauling their own cargo and wealth with them. When the group arrived in the city, they went overboard on accommodations, booking out 2 entire hotels. Permanent residents were vacated and guests had their stays abruptly canceled. It cost King Salman around $3 million just for a few nights, but of course he paid the sum without batting an eyelash. Despite all of these preparations, the king had to go through excruciating discomfort and embarrassment when his multi-million-dollar golden escalator malfunctioned in the middle, and he had to descend the steps on his own. King Salman has been known for taking his palace with him wherever he goes. When the king traveled to Washington, D.C. in 2014, he booked the entire 222 rooms of the luxurious Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown. The hotel was ordered to do some serious redecorating, with items sent from Saudi Arabia in multiple aircraft. Everything was turned gold. Gold mirrors, gold end tables, gold lamps, even gold hat racks. All carpets were turned red, and there were carpets laid down even in the lower parking garage, so the king never had to touch asphalt. Following in his father's footsteps, when the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the next in line to the throne, made a trip to Los Angeles, he rented the entire 285 rooms at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills, racking up $2 million in nightly costs. At the property, everything from decorations to music to the menu was overhauled to give a Saudi taste. Surprisingly, he didn't even stay at the hotel. He nested in a private residential place, while the hotel was mainly used by his entourage. Another story of the Crown Prince's fabulous displays of wealth was when he completely booked out 3 entire island resorts in the Maldives at a cost of $30 million in 2014, arriving in a luxury yacht with practically a small army of bodyguards. This excessive booking outraged many holidaymakers who believed the Saudi king was unnecessarily intruding on and ruining their vacations. In 2015, when King Salman and his entourage of 1,000 people arrived for a holiday in the French Riviera, it sparked a massive protest. Over 100,000 residents petitioned against the closure of the public beach outside his villa. The mayor also wrote to the president in protest against unauthorized work done by the Saudis at the property, where a slab of concrete was poured directly onto the sand to install an elevator for the king. In case you're wondering why King Salman requires such a big entourage, first, he has a big family that usually travels with him, and secondly, he likes to take his servants with him during trips. On his global travels, King Salman has been known to keep 150 professional chefs on hand, so he could pick and choose who would serve up the next delicacy. But it gets more incredible. Many of the Saudi princes have replaced standard hotel staff with their own private servants, just so they could have their coffee the way they liked it, every day of every international expedition. The royal family's love for superfluous things has given birth to some of the most ambitious aviation projects. In 2007, Prince Al-Walid bin Talal placed an order to turn the world's largest and most spacious airliner, the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo, into a private plane. The project was expected to cost a hefty $485 million, and upon completion, it would be the world's largest private plane, exceeding its competitors by a large margin. Among other things, the plane would boast wide staircases and lifts, 5 luxury suites, a concert hall, a marble-finished Turkish bath, hammam steam room, a viewing area with a giant screen on the floor, ample parking space for luxury cars, and a dedicated prayer room with electronic mats which automatically turn to face Mecca. The prince had planned to resell the plane to the King of Saudi Arabia for an even higher price, but due to some unknown reasons, the project could not be completed. The A380 is still sitting on Airbus property, somewhere in France without the interiors. Uproar and controversy have been raging on social media since 2017, when the lavish lifestyle of the Saudi Arabian royal family caught people's attention, and online users were quick to compare it to the horrible situation in war-torn Yemen. But even the trillion-dollar rulers of one of the world's biggest exporters of oil are not free from discomfort. It's been estimated that as many as 150 Saudi princes contracted the coronavirus in Europe and brought it back to their country, recently forcing the king to go into isolation. These events have caused a great deal of attention, but it doesn't look as if the Saudi Arabian royal family is going to stop.